We have about 20 years before there's a total collapse of civilization. That means we have 20 years to fix things. This is the wake-up call. The premise is simply this: we've all been programmed. The mind is the creator of our material experience. We came here to create our lives. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Your thoughts are not contained in your head. You're broadcasting them to the world. A lot of people think, well, when you die, if you had a great life, you can go to heaven. And this is the wake-up call. Please don't wait till you die. Knowledge is power. A lack of knowledge? A lack of power.
Bruce Lipton, so fantastic to have you here. Welcome to the TCCHE podcast.
I am most delighted. I'm so excited to be here because, as we all know, the world is going through an upheaval. And I just want people to understand this is a very positive thing, so we shouldn't be so afraid of what's going on.
So do you want to say a bit more about that? Because it does appear there is a lot of turmoil. There are forces, if you like. We've got people talking about good. We've got people talking about evil. We've got people talking about all sorts of agendas. But you were saying this is a positive thing, yes, something that we're going through. So please expand on that.
Okay. Well, it's a very simple insight. The first thing is this. What people are not talking about is that civilization today is not living in harmony with the planet. In fact, it takes 1.6 planet Earth to provide the resources just for today's civilization. Well, hell, we only have one planet Earth, so where's that extra 0.6? And the fact is we're trying to get it by actually pillaging the planet, destroying the ecosystem, polluting the air, the water, the soil, destroying the ocean. These are all done in an effort to keep us, sustain us. It's that we're living out of balance. And we have about, according to NASA research scientists, we have about 20 years before there's a total collapse of civilization. That means we have 20 years to fix things. And to fix things really requires us to know, what are we doing and what can we do to get out of here? So this is the big issue, is like, I don't see fear. I see a potential future that would be so amazing, but it requires a breakdown of the current civilization because the current civilization is the problem. So it says you cannot build a sustainable civilization on the foundation of today because today's foundation is the problem. So as we look around and see everything collapsing and chaos and war and all this stuff, it's like, yeah, that's to wake people up. Until we get to the point where we say, we can't do this anymore. If we get there, that's a good sign. If we don't get there, then it's a downhill ride. And I say, well, what's the probability? And I'm going, at this moment, maybe 50-50. I don't know if we're going to make it or not. But you're here, I am here, we are all here to say there is a plan, there is a way to get to the future without the stress that we're feeling today.
And a question, and this might be one that's outside of your wheelhouse, but I'm going to ask it anyway, and you can say, I don't know, nothing to do with me. But when we talk about what's coming in this 10 to 20-year window, is net zero, is global warming, is the blocking out the sun and all that, is that the answer, the solar panels? What do you see as some of the potential solutions?
The potential solutions are our own consciousness. People don't realize that we are creators. We came here to create our lives. People have separated ourselves, feeling we're victims of a world out of control without recognizing each one of us is a powerful entity. But we have to exercise that power. But if I program you to be a victim, then you see yourself as, there's nothing I can do, the world's blah, blah, blah. I'm going, no, there's everything you can do. And it takes us to make the difference. Looking for outside cures, AI and stuff like that, that's not where the answer is. It's an inside job where we have to recognize we are creators. Now, that sounds like, new agey. And I go, well, wait. Quantum physics was created in 1927. And one of the founding fathers of quantum physics, Max Planck, in 1927 said, the mind is the creator of our material experience. And he said, well, that was 100 years ago. And I go, more recently in the journal Nature, which is one of the most prestigious scientific journals on this planet, There was an article by a physicist, Richard Conn Henry. Now, I don't have to describe the article, but I will say exactly what the last sentence of the article is, because that was where it is. He said, the universe is immaterial. Well, this is quantum physics, because what we see as matter is just a strange form of energy. Okay, so it's not made out of matter, it's made out of energy. So the sentence goes, the universe is immaterial. It's mental and spiritual. Live and enjoy. And that is, again, reinforcing exactly what quantum physics had said on day one. It's our consciousness. And if we program our consciousness to be victims, if we program that we have no power, then we create a world based on that. This is the wake-up call. We are powerful, but we have to let go of the program. And once we let go of the program, you can create another world. The movie The Matrix, a lot of people say, oh, that's a science fiction. I go, no, the movie The Matrix is a documentary. What do you mean? I go, what's the premise? The premise is simply this: we've all been programmed. I go, oh, that is a scientific reality. The first 7 years of your life, you're programmed. But what I'd like to draw people's attention to is that in the movie, if you take a red pill, you get out of the program. Well, I want people to understand, most people out there, past teenage years, have experienced an experience of love. They fall in love. I go, so what? I go, well, their life was blah, 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 blah. And then they meet somebody. 24 hours later, whole different world. Oh, my God, I'm so in love. The world's so beautiful. I'm so happy. They create the honeymoon, which is heaven on earth. And all of a sudden, it's like, well, wait. Just 24 hours ago, you were living in hell, and today you're living in heaven. I said, what happened? And the answer was, we came from love. And love is the highest form of energy. And when we can experience love, we become the creators of that. And we did it. And if anybody can recall that honeymoon, no matter how short it was, how beautiful it was. How waking up was like, oh, I'm still here. It's like Earth, everything is beautiful. Even the crummy job's not so crummy. I say, same people, 24 hours later, change of thought, change of consciousness. And what if we live that every day? Well, what if? I can say here, I'm a guy who never believed in love. Up till about 40-some years, I always thought love was, oh, that's the stuff in books and movies, blah, blah, blah. I don't see it. It's not happening. I was so like, that doesn't exist. But then I understood my programming took me away from love. I was programmed by watching my father and my mother. My father had a dysfunctional relationship with my mother. Well, in the first 7 years of programming, I downloaded his behavior. I don't see it, but it would destroy any potential of having love until I recognized, oh my God, I got a bad program. I changed that program. And then all of a sudden it was like, pushing people away. Okay, no, I don't want a relationship. I'm really learning. I'm enjoying my life. But I met my partner, Margaret, and here's the absolute 100% truth. I've been on a honeymoon with my darling Margaret 30 years. So I say, you can have a whole life that way. So I can only honestly say, so far I've only had 30 years of living in the same world that everybody else is in, but creating a honeymoon existence for that time. All I can say to people is, boy, if that place to go is to be in love, because love is the harmony, and that's what we all need right now.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. And you mentioned about the programming and the up until the age of 7, the imprint period. If I had met this 7-year-old you, did you know what you wanted to do and the impact that you wanted to make in the world? Did you know that science and this world was going to be your thing? What did you want to do when you were 7? Do you remember?
Play. I wanted to play a lot. I always loved, look, being a kid, there was no responsibility just to make sure I showed up for dinner, But I did have an inkling without knowing it at the time because I was in 2nd grade. And I remember the science teacher, let me just say his name because his name was so cool. Mr. Banglesdorf. I love that name. Well, he brought in a microscope into the class, and we had a slide with amoeba and paramecia, little one-celled organisms, and we all had a chance to look in the microscope. And I remember I looked in and I saw this amoeba move from one thing and then move to another thing. It was like moving around like with reason. It wasn't just like a pinball bouncing. I thought, oh my God, it's a little human. It's like a little person. When you're small, if you find something smaller than you, that's even really cool. So I was enamored. I saw, oh my God, there was life in there. And as small as it was. And well, that was the beginning of my fascination with cells, and it led to, without my knowing it at that time, to my research as a cell biologist and using not just a regular microscope, the electron microscope. Whoa, that was so cool. Nobody knows really what an electron microscope is. You're all familiar with the little one on the desk. You walk into a room, and it's like a spaceship console, giant console, and a steel tube that rises up to the ceiling. And you put this little specimen inside. And then with all the controls, you can magnify it 1,000,000 times. I mean, it's like blow your mind. Not only did I see the cell, I was inside the cells. My study revealed, my God, they are the living things. And then when it comes down to the simple truth, we are made out of cells. You know, a lot of people think, oh, the higher you go up the evolutionary tree, the more intelligent the organism is. You know, so humans are intelligent and dogs are, you know, and a fish is, and then I have to bring people's attention to this. We're made out of cells. Cells created us. We are a cellular community. So if you want to talk about intelligence, we go all the way back to the cells, because we are, by definition, a community of 50 trillion cells. They give us life. They give us the experiences that we have. So I'm here to honor those cells, because all of us have those intelligent, marvelous beings in our life. And I guess if we want to really talk about where the problems may come from, it's the government, which is our mind, because our mind controls our genetics and our behavior. And that's the science of epigenetics, a revolution. People may have just been hearing about it nowadays. I was working on epigenetics in 1967, so I was there before most of the people in the audience were born. I was working on that. Epi means above. So when I talk about skin, I call it epidermis. Why? Underneath the layer of skin is a layer called dermis. Skin is above. Epi means above. Epidermis. Epigenetics means control above the genes. And that's why the new science is so important, because most of us have been programmed to believe that genes control our lives and we have no control over the genes. We are victims of our heredity. And it goes, no. Our thoughts and our consciousness and our life experiences, that controls our genes. We are the masters. Again, a misperception that has disempowered us until we understand, no, it's your thoughts are creating this. And then I have to say, well, tell me about your thoughts. And it turns out most people's thoughts are negative and redundant. They don't see the positive side. That's the big problem.
Wonderful. And you mentioned that love was one of the things that helped you with regards to the old programming, the 40 years worth of programs. Is there anything else that you actually did in terms of changing those programs, reprogramming the mind, speaking to your own internal government, or was it love and that was the thing that did it for you?
No, actually love came after. The first thing that changed was I was desiring to write my book called The Biology of Belief. And part of that book, in the last chapter, goes into spirituality. Well, I'm coming from a conventional science. I was teaching in a medical school. We never used the word consciousness, spirit, or any of those words. That was like sacrilegious in a science. But at some point, I started to recognize through the cells and what they taught me, the science of our spirituality and our connection, and that woke me up because I never believed in it. And then I saw a mechanism by which spirit, through quantum physics, enters into the cells and controls the genetics and behavior. And it was like, my mind got blown. And basically I said, I don't care about what my colleagues say. They're going to probably say I'm an idiot, I'm crazy, I wrote spirituality. I'm going, it's real. And that was the opening. And I'll tell you why, secretly. because I realized I cannot die. I'm not even in here. This is a virtual reality suit. Spirit comes in like remote control and allows me to do all the movements and do all this stuff. And he said, well, that's real interesting. I go, no, you see, a lot of people think, well, when you die, if you had a great life, you can go to heaven. And I try to now get people to understand, no, don't wait. You were born into heaven. I said, what do you mean? I said, this is where you came to create. This is where you came to experience. Now, without a body, I said, well, what's the body? Well, it's the mechanism that allows me to do things. But it's also a device that generates emotions and feelings. I say, well, what do you mean? I said, if you're just a spirit, what does love feel like? You know, what does a piece of chocolate cake taste like? Okay, what does a sunset look like? All of those are the result of a body of cells that translates the environment into experiences and sensations. So we came here to experience. Unfortunately, most people's experiences are so negative. A lot of people say, I hope this is the last time I'm here. And I'm going, well, then you really didn't understand this, did you? Because we came here to manifest. Heaven is the idea of creation. If you can imagine it, you can create it. And this is the wake-up call. Please don't wait till you die. Now is the time to experience all the joy of being alive. And when you're gone back into the energy field, hopefully you have good memories to say that was a great experience.
And from your perspective of talking about the cells and biology and epigenetics, is it your thinking that do we only get one shot, one time in this suit to experience, or do we get to go around again and come back as another incarnation?
Well, we have done this before, and we come back all the time. Now, the idea about that is we come from an energy. Our life manifests in energy. So our life experiences actually go back and alter the energy we came in with. It's called karma. You've changed the energy source by having energy that went back to the source. A lot of people say, what do you mean? I say, we talk about understanding your mind, put wires on your head. It's called electroencephalograph, EEG. I could read your brain function inside your head. And we all believe, yeah, my thoughts are in my head. There's another device called magnetoencephalograph. I go, it reads brain. I go, yeah, but what's important? The probe is out here. I go, so what does that mean? Your thoughts are not contained in your head. You're broadcasting them back to the source, but also into the world. People can read your thoughts. You've done it yourself. You can get close to somebody and even know what they're going to say at some point. Why? The thoughts come before the action. And so the important part about this is we come here, have life experiences, alter the original broadcast, karma, and have an option to come back until we get the broadcast back into the harmony it was before we got here the first time. And so living a wonderful, happy life, you're creating that harmony back into your spirit, into your soul. And I hope I get more chances to come back with the knowledge I have now. Because then day one would be the first day of walking to heaven and go, here I am in heaven, which I already know it is, but it took me 40, 50 years to figure it out. I would love to know that from day one.
And I've always pondered, actually, because you look at the human condition, it appears that in order for us to learn and to grow and to evolve, we go through trials, tribulations, the dark night of the soul. And sometimes I think, can we not just get the learnings from having a good old time and from love and joy and fun? What are your thoughts? Is it part of the human condition that we have to break through and struggle? Or could we now be doing it a different way?
I actually, unfortunately, believe that the struggle is a necessary part. You can only feel as good as you've ever felt as bad. You need to compare it. And if you have no reference for bad, then everything was good, blah, 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 blah. I go, no. If you have it bad and then you have it good, then you go, that's where I want to go. So a person, let's say, that is on a drug called lithium when they have, problems with their consciousness. And lithium is like no emotion. And a lot of people walk through this life with no emotion. I go, well, if you want to feel good, how good can you feel? I say, as bad as you can feel is how good you can feel. It's a range. And if you don't feel bad, then you have no comparison to know what really good is all about. Not that I think, hey, let's go have a bad time. It happens. I've been through the bad times enough to know what the good times are.
I love that. And in terms of getting through the bad times, have you got some go-to things that you still do to this day to help you put one foot in front of the other, deal with challenges? Is there anything in your toolkit that you use on a regular basis that helps you remain sort of balanced and centered?
I never go the other way anymore. My life is always good. And if somebody tries to push me off into another direction, I don't let it bother me. I just disconnect from that. Why? Do I want to own the aggravation? No, you have it. I don't need to bother with it anymore. You want to bother me? You can't. I don't care, And it's really owning the choice. The choice. Do you want to go down that road, the negative road? That was a choice you made without knowing you even made it many of the times. Now that I'm aware of choices, I do not choose to do this anymore. I used to be so sensitive and aware of what people were thinking of me and what I was doing. Now I'm at my age, I don't care. I love my life. I wake up every day. I don't look for the bad side. And if anything bad, it doesn't bother me. And that is the best part, to wake up knowing that it's going to be a real trouble to try to bother me because I just only look for the good stuff.
I love that. I love that. And is there anything, because we could go in a number of different directions with this conversation, is there anything we haven't touched on or that maybe I haven't asked you that you really would want people to know in this present time, either about you, your work, the state of the world, anything at all?
Well, I just want, really, as we started, the one thing I want people to know is that they've been programmed to live in fear because they've been programmed to feel that they're victims of the world, that everything happened to me. I go, you didn't realize that you were creating the environment that everything happens to you. And if you're unaware of this, which most people are, then they only perceive themselves as victims and never recognize that they were powerful in the first place. And if I can make you afraid, then I own you. Unfortunately, look, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. To me, religion is the business of spirit. And I said, well, how did religion get going? Because they scared you. Oh, you're going to die and you're going to go to that lake of fire and burn in hell. I go, where did that come from? Oh, it came from Greek mythology. I go, well, how much of other Greek mythology do you believe in? Oh, you don't believe in the titans and the things in the sky and all that, but you bought the hell. I go, that's just another one of the myths. But if you're afraid of the unknown, then you'll pay. I said, well, how much? I said, well, 10% annually is tithing. I say, for what? That they could tell me about hell, then tell me how they were going to get me out of hell if I pay them extra, And the point about it is, there is no hell except in your creation. And they created that. That we are... At this meeting that we go to, and Anita Morjani speaks, just listen to her story. I love what she says. She says, what happens on earth stays on earth.
Like Vegas.
Exactly. So the idea is this, hey, live it up, do what you want, because when you die, you come out of the show. You're out of the program and you're back into who you are as a spirit. And if people knew this, they wouldn't live in the fear. Because the only fear we have, which is a human fear, no other organism on this planet knows they're going to die. We're the only organism that says, oh, we're going to die. And then the mystery of what happens when we die. Then all of a sudden it's a mystery, and then somebody's going to fill in the blanks. Oh, well, you're going to go to hell, and you're going to push a rock up the hill, and it's going to roll down on you every day, and you're going to burn and blah, blah, blah. But we know somebody that can help you, so, give us a little money, and we'll get you out of the hell. And then they feel that they paid something, and now they got a free ticket, and I go, no, you just wasted. You could have had a party with that money. You didn't have to give it to them, But that's my whole thing. Wake up. You are a creator. I'm not a religious person, but Jesus had words. He was wise beyond anybody at the time. And I like to recall for people what he said. He said we could do all the miracles that he does, even better than he does, but we don't believe. Now, here's the interesting little twist. The church says, oh, he meant you don't believe in him. Oh, I believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus. I said, no. He said you don't believe in what I am saying. So all of a sudden I say, what does it mean? He told us we were the creators. He told us we were a piece of God. And that's what we need to believe. Not that I believe in the man. I believe in what the man said. And that is where the difference comes from. You believe in the man, you don't listen to what he said, then what good was it? And I think this is the point. Am I creating a miracle? I'll call my life every day a miracle. I'm still here. I'm not anxious to go either. Why? Well, once you know the game, why do you want to get out?
And you have done so much in your life, in your career, the way that you impact people. What's next for you? To continue doing what you're doing, or is there something else on the back burner as well?
I have a book that I'm just finishing the manuscript maybe this week. It's a book that I've spoken about in my previous books, but now it's focused and centered. It's a theory of evolution. It's anti-Charles Darwin. I think Charlie's going to roll over in his grave when I get this thing printed. Why? Because Darwinism is perhaps one of the biggest problems on this planet. Because Darwinism is a theory that's based on competition, winner and loser. Are you winning or losing? And that we go out there and we fight and we compete. And the whole world is based, well, I have enough. Am I getting enough? Yeah, I joke about it in the lecture. I talk about, materialism. How much material do I have? Because that's a reflection of how good I'm doing here, you know? I go, well, you have so much damn material. You have to rent a place to store your material. You have so much. And I go, where'd you get the material from? The planet. I say, oh, you've been pillaging the planet to fill up the storeroom? I go, wrong thing. Wrong. It's not based on competition. Evolution is cooperation, where we get together. It's community. It's harmony. It's all the people in the world recognizing we all came from the same source. Religion has separated us. My religion against your belief, my belief, blah, blah, blah. Trouble. Why don't we start with the premise we all are a piece of God? We are creators, not for the whole planet, but creators for our existence on this planet. And if we are understanding that, then we have responsibility. I hate that word. People get so, responsible. No. We have a responsibility to create a life that's not just good for us, but good for everyone else on this planet. This is not where we are today, is it? No. This is the change that is required. We have to recognize all humans came from the same source. I don't care if it's male or female. This is a virtual suit. Male or female? No, I'm the broadcast. I get into the suit. White, brown, black, red, yellow. That's the color of the suit. We are not the suit. We are the broadcast coming in. If everyone understood that, then we recognize we all came from the same place. We all are the same source. I don't care about the virtual suit and what it looks like and how it appears. What I care about is we are all spirit, and we can't die. Because I related in my lecture, body's like a television set. I'm playing the Bruce Show. Hello, Bruce Show right here. Not time for an advertising break. This is the Bruce Show. I go, so what? Well, you're watching the TV and it breaks and we say, oh, the TV is dead. I go, the TV might be dead. Is the broadcast still there? And the answer, of course it's there. Get another TV, plug it in, tune it to the station. You're back on again. Well, I'm going, that's exactly what we are. We are this television set playing the show, but we're not the TV. We're the show. And the show is not in the TV. It's sent to the TV. If we would wake up with that realizing that we're a broadcast, and the broadcast never ends. The TVs come and go, but the broadcast is always here.
Oh, that's wonderful. And that is a beautiful place to end today's broadcast. I really want to thank you, Dr. Bruce Lipton. Always an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today.
I love being here with you because you light up my life. Thank you so very much. I can sit across the table from you. We can go on forever. Thank you so very much. And I want to thank Richard and TCCHE, whatever those letters are, because this is a necessary organization to bring community back into the world and let us all know the knowledge, because knowledge is power. A lack of knowledge, a lack of power. So I enjoy being with this program because we offer the knowledge of self-empowerment.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.